In this video tutorial, we will learn all the features of Book and Magazine Creator and some basic rules to avoid script issues. Book and Magazine Creator can be used both on new and existing projects. In this first example, we will create our book starting from a new project. The first thing that we need to do is to create a composition called My Book, exactly as shown on the video. Without this composition, the book won't be created. We can define the size and the duration of the composition as we please, but it is recommended to make it long right away because, if it happens that you need to increase it later, you will need to do it manually for each one of the compositions that contain the pages of the book. Let's start the script. The first thing to set is the number of pages. Keep in mind that the front and back cover are considered pages, so if our book is made of 12 sheets, we should indicate 14 to include the front and the back cover. Now let's set the size of the pages with values expressed in pixels. In order not to overload the project, it is advisable not to set huge page sizes. In this example, we'll set the width to 800 pixels and the height to 1200 pixels. Now we can press the Create Book button. The script will perform a series of calculations to build the book that will initially appear in a front view. As you can see, a new folder named Edit Your Book has been created. Into this folder, you'll find a composition called Spine F that identifies the outer side of the spine, a composition called Spine R that identifies the inner side of the spine, and as many subfolders as many are the number of pages previously set. Each of these subfolders contains a page of the book, subdivided into two compositions, respectively for the front and the back of the page. Therefore, the composition PG_1F will be the front cover of the book, while the last one, in this case the composition PG_14R, will be the back of the cover. The most important rule is that no layer or composition created by the script must be manually deleted or renamed. If this rule is not followed, then the script tries to modify one of these layers, it reports an error, and, in the worst-case scenario, it will be necessary to restart the script and then repeat all the operations from scratch. To add a camera and the lights to the composition, press the Create Scene button. Once the scene is created, we can add shadows to the book by checking the corresponding checkbox. Both the camera and the main light can be freely moved or animated to obtain different angles. Into My Book composition, the script has created a layer named Controller, through which it will be possible to customize and modify some parameters and the appearance of the book. Let's analyze them one by one. The first slider, named Flip Page, can be used to browse the pages of the book. To ensure consistency between the value of the slider and the number of pages, the complete front closure of the book is obtained by setting the minimum value to -1. The complete rear closure is achieved by setting the number of pages +1. As shown on the bottom line text on the script window. It is, however, advisable to animate the book using the dedicated animation section that we will see later. The second slider, Page Follow, indicates in percentage the beginning of the rotation of a page with respect to the previous one. In other words, when this value is at 0, a page will start rotating only if the previous page has completed its rotation. On the contrary, a value of 100 will create an almost simultaneous rotation of all pages. The manual management of this slider can initially be a bit complicated. Even in this case, it is advisable to let the script automatically manage this control from the Animation tab. The third effect, Cover Size, defines the size of the cover of the book. Leaving the value at 0, the cover will have the same size of the pages. This is usually suitable for magazines or books with soft cover. Slightly increasing the value, the cover will enlarge. The last two effects act on the pages of the book when the Pages Bending function is activated on the script. Let's enable the Pages Bending function. After activating this checkbox, we can choose whether to enable this effect to the book cover as well. The pages of the book are still rigid, but increasing the value of bending amount, we will increase the curvature of the pages as long as they flip. The last effect, Page Relax, adjusts the curvature of the pages when they are relaxed, giving a more realistic effect to the book. We can set the amount of curvature detail through the Bend Quality control, remembering that a high value increases the rendering time. The time has come to insert content on the pages. This operation can be done in two ways: manually by inserting the content page by page, or automatically using the Add Content from Selected Footage button. In this first example, we will see the manual mode. Let's assume we want to create a book with a red cover and that the title of the book is My First Book. Let's go to the Page 1 folder and open the composition PG_1F, which represents the front cover of the book. Here, we create a new red solid and add a new text with the title of the book. Now we open the Spine F composition, we create a solid of the same red color, and we insert the title of the book, rotating it to -90 degrees. The composition Spine R can be left white because it is the inner part of the spine. We just have to customize the back cover that we will find inside the folder page 14 in the composition PG_14R. Let's go back to the main composition, My Book, and we'll see the changes we have just made. We complete the book by inserting a content for all the remaining pages. We could, for example, insert an image on the front side of the next page, change the color of the sheet, and add some text. On the back of the same page, we can place a video footage and so on and so forth. If we need to add a page to the book, we have to use the Add/Remove Page option. Then set the position of the new page, in this example 3, and press the OK button. This way, all following pages will move on by one position, so that X page 3 will now become page 4, and so on. The script has inserted a new blank page that we will have to fill with a new content. After adding a page to the book, the sizes of the Spine F and Spine R compositions are automatically adapted to the new thickness of the book, but always remember that the script does not modify the content inside the composition, so you will have to readjust it manually. The same is true if you decide to delete a page from the book. Set the page that you want to remove, press the OK button, and readjust the contents of the spine compositions. Very important. All pages of the book are connected to each other through expressions, so do not delete or try to add pages manually because this would cause errors to the project, and it may be necessary to rebuild the book from scratch. The time has come to animate the book. Let's move to the Animation tab. What we will do now is create a list of events. Let's see how with an example. For this animation, we decide to start showing page 2. So let's select the command Go To from the drop-down menu, insert the value 2, and press the Send button. The first command will be added to the list of events. Now we want to stay on page 2 for 1 second. To obtain this effect, select the command Wait and set 1. We then want to move to page 8, and without stopping, immediately go to page 3. Select Go To, set page 8, and, with the Go To command selected, set the value to 3. We can insert an infinite list of events, taking into account that the My Book composition must be long enough to execute them all. If we do not have any other event to include in this list, we can finally create the animation. But first, we need to choose the page rotation speed from the corresponding drop-down menu. Let's set it to Fast. Enabling the checkbox Enable Page Follow, the script will adjust the rotation angle of the pages. This way, each page begins to rotate before the previous one has finished its rotation. The value of the page angle is established automatically by the script, based on the number of pages that are set to rotate. So if the rotation occurs only to a few pages, the effect will be almost imperceptible. We can now press the Animate button and check our animation. If we want to manually edit the animation, we can do it from the controller layer. The script, in fact, places keyframes in the page flip and page follow effects, if the latter had been activated. Sometimes, due to the page angle effect, the next page could be slightly raised during the flipping, as in this case. If this effect is not desired, it will be necessary to manually intervene by reducing the value of the corresponding keyframe in the page follow effect. The keyframe to be changed is always in the middle of the rotation. It is easy to modify the list of events. Let's, for example, suppose we want to start from page 5 and no longer from page 2. Simply select the event to be modified, change the page to 5 and press OK. The old event will be replaced with the new one. If we want to delete one or more events, we just need to select them and press the Remove Selected Events button. It is important to remember that changing the list does not immediately change the behavior of the animation, because this happens only after sending the events list to the book by pressing the Animate button. Another thing to keep in mind is that the list of events does not remain in memory, so it will be deleted every time you close the script. The Remove Animation button removes the entire animation and it closes the book. The last function of the script allows us to delete the entire book. Let's press the button Remove Book and confirm to start a new exercise. In this exercise, we will use the self-positioning function of the contents. Imagine we want to transfer the contents of a magazine of which we have the PDF file. First of all, we need to split the PDF into single pages. The operation is very simple. It can be performed using Adobe Acrobat, or even easier, with one of the many services online. Once the individual pages are obtained, we open a project, create the My Book composition, and import the pages into the project. This magazine contains a total of 30 pages, counting one page for the front side and one page for the back side. Therefore, in the script, we have to set it to the half and put 15 in the number of pages box. To know the size of the pages, simply select one of the pages and check the file information. This page, like all the others, has a dimension of 792 by 612 pixels. So we copy these measures in the script and press the Create Book button. Now, we can automatically insert the content by selecting all the PDF footages and pressing the Add Content from Selected Footage button. All footages will be placed in alphabetical order. We can also change the shape of the pages. For example, we could use rounded edges. To do that, we have to open the first front page of the book, the PAG_1F. Select the rounded shape and double-click on it. A new shape layer will be created as first of the layers. Now in the Rectangle Path property, we can set the roundness value. Now let's change the blending mode of this layer to Stencil Alpha. For the front pages, we just need to have rounded edges on the right side. So in the same shape layer, we have to create a new rectangle path to cover the holes on the left side. Make a copy of this shape layer and paste it on all front pages composition. This copy should always be positioned on top of the layers list. Open the page_1R composition and paste the shape layer copy here as well. In this case, we need to have the rounded edges on the left, so simply unlink the scale property to change the X scale from 100 to -100. Now make a copy of this modified shape layer and paste it on all rear pages' side compositions. In the last exercise, we will explain how to use one of the 3 included projects to place our book into the scene. Let's open the Scene 1 project and create a new book. In this project, there already are a camera and lights, so it will not be necessary to create a scene using the script. But obviously, if you want to add further lights, you can do it manually. We scale the book using the scale property of the book position layer. If we want, we can rotate the book on the table by changing the Y rotation, or we can move it along the X and Z axes. These steps must be performed in the same way in the other 2 included projects. Now proceed with the book animation and finally export the composition. That's all. Thanks for watching and enjoy the Book and Magazine Creator.